All right, so I have been working on my Magnus the Red, and today this is a video on how to get Magnus's bright coppery red hair. Now this is maybe a little bit more closer to what someone with red hair would actually look like, as opposed to the sort of like dark purpley red hair that you'll see on the box, which is very cool, and there's videos out there for that. But this is easy for you to use on Magnus or any other character that you want to have red hair with. So the very first thing that I'm going to be doing is starting with all of the hair, a nice layer of Doom Bull Brown. And this piece has a lot of little nooks and crannies. Okay, so I'm using a longer bristled brush, sort of a larger brush, watering down, thinning down my paints so that I've got a nice smooth paint to start with. And I will be doing 2 layers of Doombull. Now I'm being real careful because I've gone ahead and I've already done the work on Magnus's face here, and I don't want to go and I don't want to mess up any of that work. So I'm being pretty careful around there as I go through and lay in all of this color. So let's go ahead and get all of this in for one coat, and we'll take a look at what that, how that looks, and we'll end up doing a second layer. So here you can see our dried layer of Doombull Brown, but I want to go ahead and get a second one on. So with whatever you're working on, I'm going to go ahead and suggest that this base layer be 2 good layers of Doombull. And I want to get this absolutely everywhere, but as I paint, I do try to kind of follow the flow of the mini's hair. Magnus has a lot of hair, and so there's really cool pattern and texture for me to follow here. All right, so here we have that dried second layer. So Magnus does have bright red hair. We're going to get there. We're going to lighten things up with Scrag Brown. So I've got this over here on my wet palette, getting a little bit of, a little bit thinned down. Not too thin though, and I don't want too much on my brush because I don't want this to go everywhere. And it's not going to get down deep into all of the little tiny cracks. And I'm going to use the edge of my brush to just pull it along. And I'm keeping up with the sort of the flow, the direction of the hairs. I'm covering a decent amount of the hair, but I'm not, using the tip or anything to really get down into all of the little cracks and recesses. So I just go ahead and lighten things up. So we're going to go around and do this to the entire piece. With the Scrag, I'm really only going to use 1 layer here. I am being real careful right around the base of the horns and the head that I'd already done all of that work on. Okay, we see it's really starting to lighten up with our base and first layer done. Now I'm going in with a Fugan Orange. It's our shade. Give us some of those nice, it'll pool nicely into all of those little recesses and helps warm up our colors even more into this orange. So I'm just trying to pay attention to how it pools. I want it to settle into the recesses, but I don't want it to pool too much and cover up everything that we've been doing. All right, so we have our base, our layer, and our shade all done. And there's some really nice colors already going on. It's this nice, warm, orangey brown. But now we want to give it that nice red look. So if you've been watching some of the other Magnus videos, you'll see the dry brushing technique that I like to use. But if you're just here for the hair, this is just a makeup brush, and this is my favorite dry brushing brush that I have. And we're going to be using Yokero Orange. So I'm getting just a tiny bit on my brush. I'm coming over to a piece of paper, and I'm getting a lot of that off. I really want a nice, dry, woo! Nice dry brush that I'm working with. And I'm just really slowly building up these layers. I don't want to let anything to get on too thick. I want stuff right on the ends. We're going to be doing 2 different dry brushing for Magnus here. Take your time, don't rush, and don't get too much paint on your brush for this. And don't press too hard. I've got a really light touch for this one. These larger flat spots, I am kind of going with the hair. And then when I've got these areas over here, like where there's a lot of hair going on, I'm going just real lightly kind of against where the hair's laying, because I'm trying to, let it grab the edge to pick that up. That's how dry brushing works. So that's all nice and dry. We're going to go ahead and start our second dry brush. Now this is going to be Tau Light Ochre. And again, be really light-handed and really get your brush nice and dry before you start going in. Not pressing very hard at all. So you can see what I just did was I did not have quite enough off. That's why I got that little harder line there. So learn from my mistakes. That's exactly what it is we want to avoid. This is a really good spot where like the light would be hitting. This one does not take me too long at all. I'm really hitting those in bits. And the very last thing that we have for this lovely mane of red hair is just a slight bit, very, very slight, edge highlighting with Averland Sunset. It's a really lovely yellow color. And I'm just coming in and I'm being very, very specific and very, very careful, hitting using the side of my brush to hit these strands that I really want to highlight the sun or the light or whatever hitting and picking up. So I want to be really nice and selective with this. And here we have Magnus the Red's red hair. Again, I wanted to go for maybe a little bit more realistic of a red head look, and hopefully you can use this in any of your minis, whether it's Magnus or anything else. That Averland sunset right along those edges to make them pop, I think is a really great thing. So I would love to see what any of yours might look like. And happy painting. Thanks for watching the video.
A big thanks to all of our patrons, especially to Sean. If you want to support our channel, you can head over to our Patreon page and check out the perks of being a patron.